Just as a brief background, I had not the pleasure of growing up with my biological father. My mother was pregnant with me when my father was killed. I always say assassinated because of how the coroner's report read, that he was shot 13 times, all upper mass. I believe that there are some thoughts and maybe some questions that I had. Had he been around any parts of my life, advice that he might have given me or directions in which he would have led me. I have a guest online today with us who's going to see if some of those questions can be answered. In all fairness, I don't necessarily have specific questions, but there is most definitely a cloud as to, what life would have been like had he been around any parts of my life. Advice that he might have given me or directions in which he would have led me. So I guess that's the start of this.
Now, what your father wants you to know is to have peace.
Before we get started, introduce yourself. Tell me and everybody the purpose of, this journey that you're about to take me on. I am Hayzelgreene, an inquisitive, unapologetic, voluptuous introvert who blooms and blossoms behind closed doors. This is my podcast, a platform where I will discuss my writings and where I will bring to light conversations with my good girlfriends, sisters, brothers, and homeboys about love, life, music, and most importantly, sex. So leave your judgment at the door and welcome to Hanging Out with Hayzel.
It's Hayzel, baby.
Okay, I am Earthly Wonders, and the journey that I'm about to introduce to not just you, but others that's interested is the unanswered questions from their loved ones that have crossed over. And it doesn't matter if it was a year, 10 years, 20 years. My connection to them is to relay messages for you to have closure on your journey as far as them, because there are a lot of people that's out here that does not have the closure, things that was left unsaid, undone, and that sort of thing. So I'm here to bring the closure if you're open to it. Because some people are going to be receptive and some people are not, because it's tapping into the unknown.
How are you going to do this? What is the process?
My normal process would be if we were in the flesh, but I can also, if you're not in the flesh, I can give you the information that is needed for you to have that closure that you need. I wanted to do something with cards, which are tarot cards, but I am not going to totally use tarot cards, because I may start off, or I may use them, I may not use them. So it depends on how the information is coming through, okay?
Okay.
So I'm pretty much going to pull off your energy. So it's just how Spirit wants me to relay it. Coming through right now is a traditional white blanket. He did see you in your mother's arms. That should be some type of closure. He did see you, but you were newborn. His spirit hadn't transferred over, okay? So it takes at least about anywhere from 6 months to a year to make their transition. So if your mother, for instance, if she was like 6 to 8 months pregnant, that spirit is allowed to linger. It's not finalized. So this is kind of like when your mother came home. He was able to see you, okay? He wants you to have peace. He says that you've been blocking and feeling that you blocking emotion. You feel that you have missed the part of him. It's like he left you out here to fight for yourself. You feel that you would have been a better person had he been around to rear you. Now, he wants you to know that in his leaving, he did leave things here for you. Whether you got them or not, that's a different story. Only you would know that. So for some reason, you have been faced with a whole bunch of lies. There's things that was taken from him in the process of him being killed. So there's some things that were taken off of him. Okay, you may not know about it, but if anybody that you know they can tell you that it was almost like his life was taken, but they took something off of him that he had. Okay, now whoever this person is that he went to, he was around this person I say within the last 3 weeks of his life, okay? He was around this person for protection, okay? He was around them for protection. But they didn't do anything. Not because they couldn't, it was unexpected. All of this was unexpected. It was unplanned. It was almost like a person caught somebody slipping, okay? Now, when this took place, the person that supposed to have protected him, they did not know these people. So this is somebody's involved with a situation, a beef about something with some more people that they know. Then you got another person that you're familiar with, that you're cool with, that you could talk to. So it was one of those type situations. It was like a safe haven friendship.
Okay.
So this is who I talk to when I have issues. This is who I talk to when I can't talk to nobody else. Because over here on the other side, I have a busy life. I don't know. I'm going to say something about drugs was involved with this here. There was some type of drugs. But in the drug part, nobody knew about this part. Okay. So money came up wrong. Okay. They were blamed for it. Okay. It was these 3 people that was involved with this. Okay. 3 people that was accused, and they blamed it on this person. So this was a situation where it was blamed and somebody's life was taken because of a lie. You may have to ask family members about that part there, but it was something that went bad. Okay, it was bad business. It was a bad business deal, but the blame was put on your father. He got blamed for something that he didn't do.
Okay.
That he didn't have his feelings up in it, but he was involved, but he wasn't involved like the lie that was told on him, okay?
This is what I heard. I was told, I'm going to say I was around anywhere between 16 and 18. I was told a story, December 1970. He was at a barbershop with one of those people that you will say will be that close confidant. So he was there, and as the barbershop was closing up for the evening, the person who owned the barbershop left to run an errand, okay? Mm-hmm. So what was told was, we're closed, don't open the door. And then they left. As they're gone, which the errand is like maybe 5 minutes away, walking distance. It wasn't far at all. At some point, and people know in Cleveland, it is not unheard of for gunshots just to ring off. Gunshots took place, but the person who left to run the errand didn't think nothing of it, because again, that's just something that happens here, or probably everywhere, where sometimes people shoot and we don't flinch or even think or have a second guess about it. Someone came to that person and say, hey, your brother was just shot. Somebody killed your brother. So that person, left where they were at and returned. Now, the barbershop doors was closed. It was still dark. So that kind of threw them for a loop. But when they tried to open the door, they couldn't open the door, even though they unlocked it. And as they were trying to push the door, there was some resistance. So at some point, they had to put a little bit more, force to push the door open. Now, when they were able to get into the barbershop, what they realized, what was holding the door, was my father's body. Okay. It was told that he went to go open the door, likely to somebody that he knew. Okay. And then this is when whoever that person or persons were. Okay. As a second thought, when the person was going back to the barbershop to find out what was going on, as a recollection, they remember seeing a particular car just ride past them that they witnessed or that they knew who the car belonged to. But I don't think anything happened as far as, trying to reach out. But the person who owned the car, whether it was them in the car or not, they wind up fleeing Cleveland.
Okay, that's because they knew who did it. I'm going to say this here. When your dad went there, he was already being watched. He was already being trailed, with all due respect. Didn't know how serious it was, but knew it was serious enough. It's like the last to know. You know what I'm saying? You know how somebody they call themselves trying to tell on somebody, but really they telling a lie because they're the guilty one. So whoever was involved was the guilty person, but they put it on the other person. So this was supposed to be like, hush, don't say nothing. That's why that happened that way. But he was already watched. He was being watched before he even went up in there. They watched him on these 3 weeks before they did what they had to do. They figured out the pattern of how they moved. The person that left had no clue that was going to happen like that, okay? They didn't know it was going to happen like that. It was coming to me. They knew it was trouble coming, but they didn't know it was going to happen like that, okay?
Okay.
They didn't know that they were going to take this person's life. The person that left knew there was a problem, but he didn't know the problem was they was going to kill him, okay? That was the blow for them. It's like somebody's talking on the street saying this, that, and that you need to keep this. Okay, excuse me for saying, but this is how the story went. You need to keep that nigga about there. He's hot. Somebody wants to do something to him. No, they did this, they did that. This person trying to keep the peace, not knowing the whole story, okay? So when they left him there, they didn't know that was going to happen. He knew they were somebody after him. He knew that. He knew that, but he didn't know that they wanted to kill him. That part right there, that played on that person because he felt responsible. That person that was left with your dad took responsibility for that because he felt that he should have did more. It's almost like a person putting their 2 cents in and didn't know where the 2 cents should have been, okay? That he didn't know the whole story. You know, it's like a person tell you what they want to tell you, but they don't tell you the other part of the story. So that's why it hasn't been incomplete because nobody's telling the whole story. Only person that has the whole story will be his family members.
Oh, okay.
They have the whole story. Sometimes people have selective memory of certain things, okay? Because who wants to say, oh, my family member was like this, my family member was like that? Nobody wants to do that. Especially, it's like a respect factor of their family, especially when their family can't speak for themselves, you know?
Right.
But that was a situation that person knew about, but they was not involved in that situation. That was a situation outside of their relationship, okay? But your father, he was watched before they killed him. He was watched before they came to deal with it. He tried to get away up in there. He didn't get a chance to open the door up. Now, when they sent here the door, was there bullet holes in the door?
Not from what I heard.
There had to be some way.
Yeah.
He opened that door. He opened the door. He knew them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a personal. Let me tell you, it's like this here. You know me, and you may have seen a friend of mine, okay, that I'm cool with. So you feel like, okay, they must be good people, right?
Right.
Because you know them, you've seen them around, you see them, they hang out with me, we cool, this, that, and the other, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that person that was kind of like somebody you've seen before, but that person knows me, but they don't per se know you. That's how that happened.
Oh, okay.
That's why that door got opened.
Oh.
That's how that door got opened. It was from somebody being familiar with somebody, okay?
And he figured that it was okay to let them in, even though the barbershop was closed.
It was a setup.
Wow.
Like I said, that person knew about what was going on. They may not have been instrumental in that part of who was who. It's almost like when I heard about what was going on, but they didn't want to be no parts of that. But they didn't know that it was going to take place right there at their establishment. They didn't know that was going to happen there.
Okay. So
it's almost like, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Like somebody heard something, or they have told them, gave them the warning, this is what's about to happen. But they didn't think that was going to happen there. It was a change of plans. He was caught by himself.
Oh, okay. Because that person wanted to run the errand.
If he hadn't ran the errand, both of them would have been dead.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Both people would have been dead. He got moved out the way.
Okay.
Both of them would have been dead. They had been watching. It's almost like a person, you know, and it's like normal behavior. Like when people get stressed out and they know there's somebody they can talk to, they'll keep coming. They come every day because something is bothering, something heavy on them. Okay. So that's pretty much how that went about what was happening, what was going on. And it was out of control. They could not deal with it, but they kept coming. They kept coming, like visiting, like talking about it. You're just sitting there for a piece, but he was already being watched. So it's almost like somebody. Mm-hmm.
So it was a white Cadillac that was what they remember seeing, you know, again, as, you know, hindsight. The white Cadillac belonged to a child's uncle. Mm-hmm. So,
I'm gonna say this here: that child's uncle was nobody to be trusted anyway, because he wasn't a good person. So whoever they thought did it, do it. Okay, whoever the person, the male is, tall, dark skinned guy, tall and dark, medium build, not a thin person, not a heavy person. So that's the person who did it. That person is no longer living either. Yeah, that person is crossed over himself. Okay. This is somebody that waited. But this person was bold. This person was fearless. The person who did this was fearless. It's almost like you got with the wrong crowd. This person already had a reputation.
Okay. So, from what I heard, it stemmed from maybe some type of triangle, some type of love triangle. So I'm thinking, just listening to what you're saying, that my father was involved with a female who he had a child by, and he must have been very cool with the whole family. And maybe, just maybe, him and the brother to the female were into something. And then when my father decided to no longer deal with her, to deal with my mother, that could have, sparked something, because it's like, okay, I'm not fucking with y'all anymore. You don't think it's the story?
I don't think that's the story. No.
Okay.
No, that's not the story. It's something outside of that story. I feel that it's dealing with some type of transaction. I don't think it was that at all.
Okay.
That wasn't it. That wasn't it. It wasn't it because somebody was dating somebody. That wasn't it. Those men were not attracted to, how could I say, they wasn't up close territorial with the women that they dealt with like that.
Okay.
It's something outside of that. It's outside. It's not, oh, you did my family member wrong, or I'm going to do something to you. No, that wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was bigger than that.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's most definitely good to know.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with a man cheating with a woman. It wasn't that, because, see, I'm going to put it to you like this. They wouldn't have had to wait and catch him off guard. They would have caught him with the woman to let it be known. It would have been more personal than that.
Okay.
That's like, I don't know that this is coming. This is a setup. That was a setup. That's a setup. That's not a setup like over a woman. That was bigger than what they would consider as a situation of somebody cheating with a woman, because that person would have just left that woman alone as far as that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. This is about money.
Okay.
This is about money.
I can believe it. Yeah, that was about money. That wasn't about, as they would consider it, this ain't about no broad. That's how they would look at that. You get those damn dozen, because your father was attracted enough to have any woman he wanted. Okay? So he wasn't stuck on no woman like that. You feel me? Okay, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, so he wasn't stuck on no females, not like that. That was something outside of his personal life. Okay? Yeah, that was his other hand that he was in. This was all about men and how men deal with each other. That's what that was about and what they do. Okay? So it wasn't about a personal relationship with I'm cheating with somebody. That wasn't that. That would have been in broad daylight. It would have been like, I did it and don't mess with me with mine. That would have been done that way. That's not that.
Okay.
That's not that. That's this is who did it. Don't tell nobody. Okay, they at me. I don't know how it's coming, but it's coming. And it came. But it came from an unlikely source. Somebody that he saw before that was cool with the person who made the run.
Oh, okay.
That person who made the run was familiar with the person who did it.
Okay. So that changes the whole story the way I heard it to, so that changes that. So the person who ran the errand obviously thought that it was his duty to kind of look out for me as I grew up.
Because he felt responsible for it, because it happened on his ship. It happened at his establishment. I was supposed to have been preventing this from happening, and it happening right here up under me. The person that done this was familiar with the person who made the errand, okay? But they didn't know that this person was sent by somebody else to take this person out, okay? It was an oversight for them. They didn't know how serious it was, because your dad didn't tell the whole story of it, okay? He didn't tell. He missed some pieces. He didn't tell how serious it was.
Okay.
Somebody waited for an opening, and then they came and did what they needed to do. They was already watching him. They knew everything about how he moved. He changed up when he went over there. When he went over there, then it's just like, no, this is where he's frequent right now. He couldn't move around and about like he normally would move around, because he'd be moving around with those people. You understand?
Right.
He had other friends outside of this person that made the run. Okay? He had another little clique that he ran with, that he was familiar with, that he dealt with.
Okay.
So this was one of those situations where you caught him off guard. That person was out the way. And see, I'm going to tell you, it's like this here. When the person made the errand, he assumed he knew who it was who did it because of his affiliation with them and the way they were moving. But couldn't say nothing. He couldn't say nothing. You understand? Because they would have took him out too. So he had to be quiet.
Wow.
He had to be quiet. He couldn't say anything. He couldn't say anything because of that. He knew who the people were. He was familiar with them, okay? And he knew that they were people that wasn't right, you know? Yeah.
Wow. So
that was one of those situations. Mm-hmm.
So you said that they took something off of him, something like what? Something material?
It was something. I'm gonna say it like this here. It's almost like could have been money, could have been some property that he had with him. It could have been something that he was carrying on him. Okay.
Okay.
Could have been something that he had in his possession. Okay. Money. Could have been making a drop doing something because that barbershop was not just a barbershop. I'm gonna let you know that.
Oh wow.
They did other stuff in that barbershop. Okay. They had their hands in some stuff too. Okay. So everybody knew of everybody that did something. You understand?
I understand.
So this barbershop was not like you just go there and get your hair cut. No. Other stuff went on in that barbershop. It was not the typical barbershop. See, this barbershop cut certain people's hair, okay? They didn't just mess with anybody that walked up in there wanted a haircut, okay? See, that's the part of the story that you don't know about. It's almost like the barbershop was set up as a decoy.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah,
okay.
It wasn't a barbershop. They didn't make no money off cutting no hair up in there.
Okay, it was the front.
Right.
Okay, the meetup.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't that.
You know, okay, so knowing that, and then knowing that the person kind of, you know, looked out for me until the time when they passed away. I can't say, was there something in play or in the works for me from my father, or I don't know.
You know what? Your father had another family on the side. Anything that he had of material gain went to that other family.
Okay.
He never got a chance to put anything to the side for you. He never got a chance to do that.
Okay.
There was another family. I don't know why it's like 3 other siblings somewhere. He had it was somebody he was dealing with had at least 3 kids.
Wait. Somebody that he was dealing with had 3 kids?
Yeah. Yep.
Was it including? Was it including his?
Could have been. It could have been somebody who had a child that had 2 other kids.
Okay, I know who that is. I know exactly who that is.
Okay, so they got the money. Anything that he had, they had that. It went to the female that he was with.
Okay.
He didn't have time to prepare for anything else, not even for you coming. I'm gonna say it like this: he was so busy. He knew he had a child on the way. He knew that part right there. Your father wants you to have peace with it because he's not mad at anybody. Okay, he don't want you to keep wondering about it. He wants you to take what you have and move forward and leave the rest of it behind. Yeah. But at the same time, he loved the child he never got a chance to put his hands on.
Okay. Yeah, this was enlightening.
Yeah.
It answers a lot of things.
Okay. Now, your father wants you to release any personal guilt, any personal, unanswered questions. He wants you to let that go, to live your life and not have that playing in the background. Like, if I had this, I would have done that. If I would have done that, it was out of your control. He says that all his kids, you more like him than anybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was like, the part of you like hustling, you got that from him.
Really?
He was like, yeah. He said you got that from him. Making things happen, that part. You got that from him. Yeah. He said that's your trait. That trait where you said you're laid back and then you just jump out and you just start doing something and start happening. You got that from him. That came from him. And it's like you're going to always feel like you got to do something different. You got that from your dad. Okay. What should I do now? Because after you conquer that, you got to move to something else. And sometimes you take your time about it because you got to think it all the way through. But once you done thought about it, you do it.
I heard that from somebody before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That when I conquer something, I'll get bored and move on to something else.
Mm-hmm. That's him. Yeah. There's a lot of attributes that you have that's like your father. A lot of them. Nobody will give you the answer to that, okay? But you always you have to stay grounded, okay? You just have to stay grounded and know your worth, okay? And we on the air. But he wants you to relax and be you. And be you. And there is no right or no wrong in that, okay?
Right.
Whoa. Yeah, there's no right, there's no wrong. But he says, anything that you do, you need to keep your business to yourself. Hey, this is like I can't say what I need to say because we're being recorded. Okay, so
No, say what you got to say because, that's called the form of editing.
Oh, okay. So he's saying that even when you try to be slick, he said just make sure that it don't backfire to where somebody catches you.
Wait, it doesn't backfire to what?
Somebody catches you, doing some extra stuff. Because it's like you're going to look out for yourself. You're going to make sure that you're in control, that you got yours. He says when you do that, make sure that it would never be able to be traced back to you. Are you understanding that?
Yeah.
He do want you to, he said, okay. He says once you hit your mark, speed up the process, you'll get more. What he's saying in so many words is when you got an idea, he says, hurry up and dump all of it at one time. That's how you get your blessings coming from him. He's helping out in that area. Are you understanding that?
Yeah, I think I am.
Okay. He don't want you to take, okay, like you got a good thing going. He says, don't do a little bit, do enough of it. Then put it out there and let it come on back to you right there so you get your money.
Oh, okay.
He said, don't be afraid to invest in yourself, to put it out there. When you hot, he was like, let yourself be hot. And then when you step back from it, you'll be almost like done with doing that little part of other extra stuff that you do. Okay?
Oh, okay. So that must be the project I'm working on now.
Yeah, okay. So he says when it's hot, you put it out there. He wants you to pump it up, put it out there. And when you put it out there, then it's kind of like you move on to the next part of it. So he said you have to do it in not small increments, but you got to do it like, boom, it's out there. And then let it come back. It's like that's the way he's giving you what he wasn't able to give you in the flesh. So he's assisting you in what you're doing, okay? So he don't want you to be afraid to invest so you can get a bigger return back.
Okay.
So you got to do your part, huh?
No, I'm listening. I'm getting it all.
Okay. He don't want you to hold anything back. Yeah. He says when you hold back, you miss opportunity, okay? And he says that there has been at least 3 times that he has put something in your hands and you waited too long and it didn't happen. Wow. So that extra little voice that tells you to go ahead and do it, you don't need to. That's him talking. Are you following me?
I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't believe that little extra voice that you hear. You believe that that's like, oh, I'm just second guessing it. No, it's not. That's your dad talking. He's here to help you. Yeah, he kind of like moves around you like your guardian angel. So he's helping you, honey. So when you get these ideas, when stuff start happening good, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wants you to do what you need to do so you can see things grow for yourself, okay?
So let me ask you this. I'm sure I'm not going to put this on there. I guess my question is, because I think I would want to know this if he was still here, like what does he think about or would have thought about Hayzelgreene and the fact that I'm trying to push this brand?
He said do your thing. He ain't got nothing to say. He said do your thing.
Okay.
He said do your thing. He said he has never been a judgmental person. He's never been a person to judge anybody. You do your thing. If this is something you can do to generate and take care of yourself, because he said it's all about maintaining your stability. He has nothing to say about that. He's like, that's just what you do. He said that's what you do. Okay. He said your mother was sexual like that too. He said you like your mother in that aspect. He getting personal.
I see.
He says that she was quiet, but she was a firecracker. What the heck? That's funny.
Yeah, it is. Very reserved.
But she's a firecracker, he said. She's a firecracker. That's what he looks at. He says firecracker. She's a firecracker. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
He says she had him doing things that he never thought he would do. Okay? He was all out of character, okay? That's what somebody didn't like, all right? Oh, boy, okay. All right, you know what? He says this here. He says you're going to understand. He says, you are my daughter. He said you're going to understand that. So it may be something that's going on with you, but he says you are my daughter. You are my daughter. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. Does your father have 3 sons?
2 of my knowledge.
Okay. All right, so that's what he's talking about. Okay, so he wants you to step out of that masculine energy, okay?
Wow.
Okay, so that's why he's saying you are my daughter, okay? He's like, you're not one of the guys, you his daughter, okay? He said for you to keep the focus on you, that's all he has to say, and you are his daughter. He keeps emphasizing that you is his daughter. He says keep the focus on yourself. He wants you to step more into your feminine energy, okay? He says you don't have to be hard because he was not here to protect yourself, okay? Are you understanding that?
Yeah.
Okay. He said you don't have to do that. He said all your life you've been like that you had to feel like you had to protect yourself because you didn't have what others had. He said you don't have to do that. He's providing you everything that you need. He's going to help you out.
Say that one more time.
He says you don't have to worry about that. He's going to help you out. He was like, he's been helping you all along, darling. Okay. Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
He said something. Did you pretend talking to him as a child?
You said, did I? I don't know. I mean, again, like I said, I've always thought about.
No, he's saying like you were like, what he's showing me is like you be in there playing like as though you were talking to him, like in your room.
I don't remember.
7 years old? 7?
I don't even remember that part of my life.
Well, he had to be there.
Well, I most definitely know that I, play stories in my mind and, talk things out. So I can't say that's not far-fetched, that's far-fetched.
No, you had a vivid imagination. I don't know. No. He's saying that you have always had the imagination. You've talked to him. You have talked to your dad, okay?
Oh, wow.
You have talked to him as a child. You have talked to him. For some reason, it's almost like he's telling me that he has visited you where you knew that he was there.
I've had dreams before where I call myself putting him there in my dreams.
Well, he had communicated with you, okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so, all right. He's saying for you to overcome any obstacles in your life, okay? He wants you to move forward and don't be like in this illusion of something else. You understand? He wants you to not sit back. He wants you to take the lead in your life. He don't want you to be in lack. Yeah. He's saying like, and so it's like you will have something and you still feel like you don't have anything. He don't want you to do that. He said you have everything that you need. Okay. He said don't be greedy. He's like you have everything that you need within you. He said you need to apply yourself. He was like, he's almost like shaking his head with a grin, like, man, you just don't know. He's saying you just don't know what you're capable of. He said you have no clue. He's been with you throughout your life to help you along the way. You have not been doing that by yourself. Your father been with you, darling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, his energy is kicking up.
So this must have been a long time coming conversation, huh?
Had to be. Okay. Oh, my gosh. All right. Do you ever feel like somebody around you?
Do I ever feel like somebody's around me?
Mm-hmm. Like an energy around you that you can't see. Especially it's like when you lay down. When you lay down like as though there's an energy there. It's almost like seeing you laying on a couch or something. Like you feel an energy around you.
I don't know.
Yeah, you just wake up.
I don't know, but I do know that as a rule for myself, anytime I go in my room, I have to close the door because I don't want, it's like something coming. I don't want anything to come in on me. So I always close a door. Like I remember one time laying there in like a sleep paralysis or something. And it was like I was looking and I seen something going on in the hallway, but I couldn't move and I couldn't react. And it scared me so that I have to close doors behind me. Or if I come into a room, I have to close the door.
Ain't nobody listen to me. That's your daddy, baby. That's your dad. He's protecting you, okay? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Every now and then he comes in, he checks on you. Yeah, he checks on you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just have peace with him. Because that's your protection. He's your protection, honey. When you be in a tight bind and you come with some answers, that's him. When you got an answer for everything, that's him. Yeah. He steps in. He makes sure you don't have no problems.
Now he may not. He may not know this, but I'm just so curious. The relationship between me and his children, me and his sons, especially the one in question. I always felt some type of way why we never had a bond. We were good as children. We played as children or what have you. But,
well, you know what? Okay. No, because he knows the story. He knows the story. He knows the story. That's why he said that you're responsible.
Wow.
If it wasn't for you, my dad would still be here. Okay. He knows the story. That's why. There's nothing you can do about that. He has had so many years to play that he's not going to be receptive. He refuses. He feels like he got stuck up for something. Okay. He feels something was taken from him. Okay.
Okay.
It's almost like, who is you? This is all because of you. How did you come to be? Oh, this is how you came to be. Oh, this is the answer to my question, okay? I tell you what, the next time you see him, let him know that it's not your fault that your father is gone. You had nothing to do with it.
Well, he don't live in Cleveland, so I probably won't be seeing him ever. I mean, I can call him, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's that part. That's why it's like that. He feel you're responsible, but your mom is responsible. Okay.
But what about the older boy? What is his role?
He don't have a role. He had other responsibilities to tend to. He don't want to bother none of that like that. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's not his son. That son is through somebody else. That's somebody else's seed.
Oh wow. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh wait. Okay. This was interesting. It was needed. It was most definitely needed.
Yeah, but he wants you to move forward, though. He was like, just let it, you got what you got, as far as your closure. He wants you to let it go. He wants you to let it go and move forward. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see. I don't know what he said. Something about a son. Something about a son. A son. I don't know. You know what? Oh, okay. He says that you a better son than they have been. Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but do keep in mind he says you is his daughter though. He said you've been a better son than they have been. Okay. It's almost like to me, it's like wow, what was that? Okay.
Well, I guess I don't know if I had told you a long time ago. Ty said what'd she say? Something about me being masculine. I can't even remember how she said it, but it was more like you the butchest person I know, or something to that effect. So maybe it's that masculinity that I don't know. That's crazy.
I'm gonna say it like this here. He's telling you to step into your feet. He's so close up on you that you are picking up that energy. Okay, so he wants you to step over into the feminine side. So don't be surprised after all of this here that you'll start stepping more into your female side, because evidently he's moving up out the way so that you can do this, because he wants you to move forward. And if him, okay. He wants you to move forward so he can pull back his energy from you, but he still will be helping you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how a parent be over their child, like up close, making sure everything is okay. So you're so strong. His energy is so strong with you that you're picking up that part of him. Okay? That's why he wants you to release it so that you will be okay. And then you won't be afraid to step into that part of yourself. You ain't had that part of yourself in a long minute. Even as a child, you didn't have that part. Okay? But he wants you to tap into that. It's time. You got your closure. He wants you to step into your feminine part. He said, no more masculine anything. You hear me?
Yeah.
He said, step into your feminine part. Yeah. That's the only thing that he's saying. That's what he's saying. He wants you to step into the feminine side of yourself. You don't have to go through defending what you've been told and wondering. He was like, release it now. He wants you to release it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to do that no more.
Oh yeah. Okay. I got some work to do.
It's going to come easy because he's trying to pull back some of his energy so that you can do it. He's saying it's okay. Okay.
Wow.
Well, let me just rattle on now. Okay. So he's saying that you don't need to be hard. You don't need to protect yourself because of him. He's always been with you. He's always been with you. He says now you can step into your feminine part. Now that you have everything that you need as a person, you've always had it. He says you chose not to use that part because you felt you had to protect yourself. Yeah. It's like he's saying that you had to protect yourself because he wasn't there. You missed that part in your life. And then when you got into relationships, you shut down. You were in relationships where you shut down. So he wants you to step into your feminine part of yourself and live in it. He don't want you fighting in relationships like energetically fighting. If it's too good, then you fight and move them away from getting up close because he wasn't there. So that's been that part right there. It's almost one of those things like, no, how dare you? You ain't my daddy, without even saying all that to them. You can't tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy. That sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, you should have had this conversation long ago. It's been way overdue. Yep, it's way overdue. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see it. I can absolutely see it.
Yeah, that's that part right there. But he wants you to have your closure. I cannot reiterate that. It's keep coming across. He wants you to let that go and live your life. Nobody means you any harm. Okay. So he's saying that is why you don't trust no males because of what you were told to believe as far as him. That's why you trust no male. He wants you to release that. Yeah. He wants you to release that. Only man that has, how could I say it, that ever got any type of accolades would have been him. Okay? Anybody else, they had nothing coming. He don't want you to be that way. Yeah. Interesting.
Very. Very, very, very. Okay. Got some work to do.
Okay. He says, listen to me. He says that as soon as you start doing that, you will stop being depressed, and he said you will lose some weight. I don't know why he wanted to say that, but that's what he said. He said you got the weight on you because you're depressed. He wants you to release all of that. Okay. All right. Okay. So who is this? Oh, okay. All right. Listen to me very carefully. All right. So you need to get some goat's milk.
Wait, say that again?
Listen to me. You have a prescription right now. You need to get some goat's milk. You need to get some flowers. You don't know what at-home is. So you're going to take some eggshells and you're going to grind it up. You're going to take the egg out. You're going to wash off the inside of the egg. Okay? Wash all of that off. You're going to grind that powder, that egg up into a powder. You're going to get a grinder. You're going to grind that up. Okay? You're going to get some parsley. You hear me?
Yeah.
And you're going to get a watermelon. You're going to get the watermelon. And you're going to get the juice off the watermelon. You're going to grind that up. You can smash it up with your hands, strain it however you want to do it. If you can't strain it, just make sure you grind that up good. Once you take a bath with that, you need to take a bath with that for 3 days. Okay? That's going to clear your energy. You need that. And you're going to feel a heck of a lot better. That depression and all of that film of being depressed and without, that's going to leave you. Okay?
Okay.
Use that. Take 5 oranges with that bath. Put all of that in a bucket together. You're gonna wash. You're gonna take your shower. However you take your bath, you're gonna take your bath first and clean all off whatever you got on your body. You're gonna clean that off. Then you're gonna take that from head to toe. You're gonna let that wash down your body. You're not going to bring it back up, let it all wash down. You're cleaning yourself, okay, of all of this. You understand?
Yeah.
Then you're going to put on something fresh. I don't care if you take, because I would say put on white, but if you don't have white, if you got something, a booba or something that's white, or you can just take a sheet and wrap that around you. You need to do that for 3 days, and I guarantee you, a lot of the anxiety, the depression, and all the disappointment, you're going to feel better. You need to do it for 3 days. 3 days. After you get off of work, you can do it. If you have a weekend, you can do it. Come home Friday, you can do it. Get up in the morning and do it. The next 2 mornings. But if you do it the morning you go to work, as soon as you come home, put on some white for 3 days. You're gonna feel better. You're clearing your fear. You need to do it. You need to do it. And I guarantee you're gonna see a big change in your life. Okay?
Okay.
You have to do it. Don't just say it. And if you forget anything, call me and I will tell you.
Oh, it's recording. I can go back and listen to it.
Okay. You need to clean yourself. Yeah. If you can do it, the eggshells, you're not going to be able to do it. I don't have any F foam on hand, but you can do it with the eggshells. But make sure you clean all the yolk and all that stuff out of there. Clear shells. Take at least two eggs. Take the yolk out, clean the shells in water. Take those, grind it up into a powder. Mix all that in a bucket with watermelon, 5 oranges. Watermelon, you're going to take parsley, fresh parsley, not no jarred stuff. You're going to take fresh parsley and you'll take the goat's milk. I would say use some spring water. We'll do it that way. Use spring water. Make you a whole bucket of that and let it wash from your head, your face, your ears, your private parts. Clean your whole body with it. Okay? After you take your bath, though, you got to take your bath first. After you take your bath, then you're going to do all of that. And let all that shit run down the drain, okay?
Okay.
If you do it, you're going to be all right. If you don't do it, you're going to be still struggling. You're washing off the old residue. You can light a candle, say your prayers. You can say, after you prepare the bath, I need you to sit here and say, this is to clean me off from any negative prayers. You tell that bath, this is what you're going to do for me, okay? You say amen or whatever you want to say behind it that you would say in Islam or however. I don't know, alhamdulillah, however, do whatever you have to do and take that cleansing and clean yourself off. You better kick some butt after that, hear me?
Yeah.
You have to do it. Don't just sit there because you got a prescription for yourself spiritually so you can keep on moving forward and just be able to step into that energy that you need to be in because you got to get rid of that part right there, okay?
Right.
I guarantee you're going to feel better. Mm-hmm. You're walking around sluggish and tired and drained and all this and ain't done nothing. This is going to help you out. Yeah, this is going to help you out. Okay. Are we still recording?
Oh, yeah. Let me cut it off.
Okay.
Well, we have come to the end of this week's episode. I want to first thank you for listening to the insanity that crosses our minds. To those who partake and entertain in my conversations, without you, there will be no hanging out with Hayzel. To Platinum Way Ray and Mac of the Tracks, we're looking out for my dope beat. And last but not least, shout out to my other half for making this possible. Because at the end of the day, she is I and I am her. If you thought this show was interesting, be sure to tune in to next week's episode and tell a friend. Support the movement. All things Hayzelgreene. Find my books on Amazon.com. Follow, listen, and like at Hayzelgreene.com. Hayzelgreene on Facebook and Hayzelgreene216 on IG. 2 fingers. And I'm out. Hey.